Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, November 28th, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is pleasure is the passage to my infinite dreams. And today we have the moon finishing up in Pisces. And the moon finishing up in Pisces is making most of the connections in the early part of the day. But then we have the moon shifting into Aries at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. And once the moon shifts into Aries, it's kind of a different story. So we kind of have a two-part day. Now that moon in Pisces is making a connection to that Saturn Mercury conjunction. So we still have Saturn and Mercury at 27 degrees. And the moon in Pisces is squaring that energy. So square energies, that's where resistance comes up. And I feel like in this, like you may have felt that like sit, be, settle in, go in deeper, let the mud settle kind of feeling yesterday with that Mercury-Saturn connection. And now you're like, okay, ideas came. I want to take the action. And yet we're still not, we haven't reached that point where we're in that flow. Now what I do like is that I do feel like the action's coming. It's coming. Moon into Aries is always an interesting thing because the moon in Aries is almost like every cycle, a new beginning, because Aries begins the cycle of the zodiac. So here we come, the moon beginning a whole like a lunar zodiac cycle coming round again with that transit, that happening. And the sun and the moon are going to connect. I like this. The sun and the moon are actually going to connect at 7 degrees, which is the degree of flow. So I feel like, you know, the early part of the day or in your dreams, that kind of thing, you may feel some of that resistance come up and you'd be like, I'm trying to move, but I keep hitting the wall. The wall is there. Look at this wall there. The wall is there and I can't really access the flow. That's okay. Your plan to get yourself back in the flow is the plan of pleasure, is the plan of joy. We have a 6-degree energy day until it shifts into 7 later. And 6-degree energy is the energy of Venus. It's the energy of Libra. So it is the energy of finding the beauty, finding the harmony, finding the pleasure. So if you find yourself ramming in the wall, kind of stuck in the burden, stuck in your head, like, how am I going to make this happen? Shift that, and instead get into some kind of pleasure in this moment. I actually do have the card Passion and Pleasure from the Sacred Traveler deck, and here they have them like dancing around the fire. That's always a good option to shift yourself out of hitting the wall. The other thing that came through with this is that it may not necessarily be that something outside of you is blocking you, that burden card and some of the Saturn energy, Saturn with the Mercury, is that you're actually feeling uninspired. And the message that came through with that also relates to this, again, is you have to think bigger. You're thinking too small, and that's why you're not inspired, because it's like warming your hands over a tiny flame. That flame just needs a little bit more fire. You need that bigger inspiration to help motivate you, to help move you at this time. So the message with this is, like, if you're feeling uninspired and that's kind of where you're hitting the wall, think bigger, but then take the baby steps. Because, again, we think bigger and then we're like, okay, and how am I going to do this all at once? I'm a Sagittarius. I'm well known for that. It doesn't have to be that way. So think bigger and then take the baby steps into fanning that flame. Add the Kindle, you know, stick by stick, paper by paper, to help grow your flame. And again, pleasure will be the key to your passage into stepping into these infinite dreams. Doesn't have to be all at once, piece by piece, bit by bit, moment by moment, moment by moment. That seems to be a reoccurring Sagittarius theme this time, moment by moment. So the other thing I want to mention, which is very interesting to me, is that we have the North Node in Leo conjunct Ceres in Leo. Ceres is a dwarf planet, actually. It used to be classified as an asteroid, but it is a dwarf planet, and it represents mother energy. So it can represent how you were mothered. It can represent how you do mother, or it can represent most importantly, I think, how you mother yourself, how you take care of yourself. So Sarah's with the North Node is like, you have to step into that energy of mother for yourself. And I do have the creativity card, which is the Empress card, which is the card of mother energy. Now, this being in the sign of Leo means that part of this mother work you must do on yourself is connecting yourself to love, connecting yourself to joy. So here we have this message of pleasure and joy, helping us move and find our flow with this energy where we may have been hitting the wall. So that's going to be an important thing. Tune into your inner child. How does your inner child need to be mothered? And how does even, this idea that's coming about, this energy that's being birthed for you, how can you mother that? How can you birth that? How can you nurture that? And how can you bring the joy and the pleasure into that energy? Because we want to get past this point where we're holding back. This card in reverse to me is like, oh, you're holding back. You have these things to offer and it's holding back and it's making you hit the wall. It's feeling like a burden, in fact, to hold back. And here we are, like, oh, in the distance, maybe one day I'll get there. Well, this is your passage. Joy and pleasure is your passage so that you can get out of the one day and into the moment of creation that is available for you right here, right now. All right, so I have actually 2 cards from the Sacred Traveler, Passion and Pleasure. And I'm going to read this. Savor your life. Find joy in the moment. No matter what is reoccurring in your life, or not reoccurring, occurring in your life, or reoccurring, never. Either way, if you simply focus on what is splendid, I love that word splendid, wonderful, pleasurable, in the moment, everything improves. Live deliciously, live juicily. Love often and live fully. Cherish your friendships, fill your life with people, experiences, and places that give you delight and joy. Let go of the people and the things that don't appreciate or empower you. Give yourself permission to be happy. Give yourself permission to be happy. I give you permission, not that it's my place to give you permission, but I do give you permission to be happy. And I hope that you, as that inner parent, gives your inner child that permission to be happy. The other thing, rainbow blessings. Blessings are showering in your life. Blessings of all forms are cascading into your life. Just as the rainbow has all colors of the spectrum, every hue of your life is blessed. This is a great time to start a project. Moon in Aries. Start a project, initiate a relationship, purchase a house, begin a health program, start a new job, or even change careers. Let go of hesitation and concern. Whatever you dream of for your future, this is the time to start. You'll succeed. If you are buying a house, just cross your T's, dot your I's, because we are heading into Mercury retrograde. Just saying. Finishing up, 2 cards also came out from the universe has your back. Obstacles or detours in the right direction. So maybe that wall is part of the obstacle. You have to shift your consciousness. You have to reach for the light. Reach for the light, and that will help get you through. And I really like this one. Instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good for all. That's always a beautiful thing to do. So that's it for today. Book a reading. Come join us in LA for our GPS workshop. I'm getting all ready for that. I'm very excited for everything we're going to do. Check out the Gaia Blooming website. I have a shop up there now that is connected to my friend Deanna's shop, Seraphina's Touch. She makes awesome, amazing products. Great Christmas gifts there if you celebrate that. Or anytime gifts, doesn't need to have a reason. I think that's it. So the better it gets. Choose pleasure. And what's the last one that I always say? There's enough love in the world for you. There is enough of everything in the world for you. Believe it and live it. Have a beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.